Hey guys, this is Sam. As you can see right now on my account, there is 19,000 gold. 19,000 gold cash. The subject of this video is Trading Post Barons, and by the end of it, you will know that I am not one.
Weekend millionaires, just trying to be cool. Yeah, one day we'll be there, till Monday comes again. We're weekend millionaires.
As you can see right now, the background of this video is actually just the forging of some silver doubloons. I have already made a video about this, and I just thought it would be a nice background for my next Trading Post video. Today we are talking about the subject of Trading Post Barons, and for this I have made a plan, on a sheet of paper, so I don't get lost on what I'm saying. And I have also decided to bring some examples taken from our official forums, from Reddit, as well as some friends I have in game, which is gonna be a part for later. I actually managed to get an interview of a fellow Trading Post player, which is quite known by the community. But first, let's delve into the subject of TP Barons. We should actually try to provide a definition for it. A TP Baron is actually that guy who is just immensely rich. He has reached the point in the game where he actually will stop playing because he has a lot of money, he has the knowledge to make even more money out of that money, and his daily cash flow way exceeds whatever he would actually spend it on. This is the TP Baron. He is rich, and he has everything he wants. Now, with the amount of cash I have in my wallet at the moment, you would actually say, but you can buy everything you want. You could actually make all the legendaries you're missing. And this is true. I could do a lot of stuff with that amount of money, but I could not get everything. And the Trading Post Barons we're going to be talking about are these very people who can actually get anything they want in the game. So, a good question first is, what about the history of TP Barons? Actually, the TP Barons were sort of decided quite early in the game. These were the people who didn't exactly care about exploring every area, learning about the story, rushing to the end of it so they could see dungeons at level 80 so they could feel the endgame. These weren't exactly these people. The Trading Post Barons were the people that at the start of the game took a liking to the economy and actually wondered, while looking at the items, what would actually spike, what would actually be useful, what should I get into early on. As a reminder, back when the game was released, tier 6 materials were actually sold to the vendor because nobody had any gold to buy them on the trading post. As well, precursors were barely a handful of gold. I have seen Dusk selling for less than 40 gold back at release. This is just to say to you guys that the prices have gone up by a lot, and so has the money these guys have made. The Trading Post Barons that have started early have seen their money go up by 30 times just from the inflation. Just because other people around them actually made more money, got richer, and rose the prices. And this is exactly what happened. Now, what about spiking early at launch? This is actually an expression I have taken from one of the people that I do regard as a TP Baron, the great Manizak. He is a player who was well known for being the richest guy on the Gandera server. He was known, back when he took a break about 3 years ago, to have made over 700,000 gold. Yes, 700,000. This is the type of riches we're talking about. This is the kind of wealth we're going to be seeing throughout this video. This guy actually said that he spiked a few materials back at launch. He actually saw what would become profitable later on and decided to bet on it. Tier 6 materials, other crafting materials, various endgame weapons, sigils, runes, a lot of stuff actually went up because people slowly realized how they could play the game, what was actually important, what they could discard, etc. Indeed, one of the events he said he made a lot of gold on was actually Lost Shores. Lost Shores was that event with the Karka invasion where you got a lot of precursors dropping to anyone in the game. By buying a lot of the supply at that time, he actually registered them later on and made a boatload of money. This is what we're talking about. Spiking, an opportunity seizing. He needed to have a sizable amount of gold to do that, which is why we are actually talking about self-made, early coming TP barons. People who started early saw what they could go for and actually went for it. Overall, precursor flipping was actually a thing as well, because at the moment, most people playing the game already have one legendary that they decided to go for. However, back at the start, everyone was complaining on the forums about how hard it was to acquire a precursor because of the constant fluctuating prices. Indeed, a lot of people were flipping them, and if you browse Reddit, you can actually see a lot of topics where people say, yes, I got rich from precursor flipping. As we said a few minutes ago, the influx of gold coming from the faucets that were introduced in the economy by John Smith multiplied the player's income. Which means that the one dude who would barely farm 1 gold per hour back at release from farming mobs and selling everything he got to the vendor would now be making maybe 10, 20, 30 gold per hour during the festivals. That means that he had the amount of money that was needed to buy pretty much anything he would desire. This actually serves our explanations, but what about the other people who just came afterwards? Because, I mean, there are some people who are on Guild Wars 2 efficiency with quite huge amounts of gold, over the 100,000 or close to it, and who do not have that many hours. The top account for Wallet Gold has almost 20,000, but right behind him, it's not even 10k. Now, we might actually say about these people that they are the modern trading post players. They started later on, but through their intellect and dedication, they actually managed to make a sizable amount of money. These are players like, let's say, Wanze, Rising Ashes, or even Enko from LOD that you've known for his activity on the subreddit. We could also look towards the other people who've been posting screens of their accomplishments on Reddit or the forums. We could think of Tyrex, the creator of Guild Wars 2 Specs, who actually did one of the biggest forging streams. We could also look towards the other Training Post players, such as Dan Dazed, who is particularly active on Guild Wars 2 Economy and Guild Wars 2 Exchange subreddit. These players actually came later on. They do not have hundreds of thousands of gold, but they do have at least 100,000, maybe even more. I do not know exactly what they have, but from seeing their past history and the amount of money they're able to make every day, I do suspect that they have quite a lot stored away in some guild banks or on mules. Let's see a few screenshots of what they did. As you can see, some trading post history taken from BLTC, some reports taken from BLTC, inventory pictures, Enco's legendary forging stream, and even a picture of Dande's inventory. This is a shitload of gold. So much of it. But actually, TP Barons are not necessarily people that have a lot of gold in their wallet. At the moment, I have these 19Ks, but these don't make me a TP Baron, because even with these 19K gold, I'm not making that much every day. Maybe 200, 300. I'm not exactly looking at using that gold to make more gold. I actually want to invest it. This is not the same as these players who are actually able to see thousands of gold go through their hands on a daily basis. And now, you're actually gonna have an idea of this with the interview of my dear friend Silva. Silveress is a trading post player who started a few years back by doing material promotion sheets and is particularly well known on the forums for posting them. You're now going to be able to have an idea of what he thinks is a TP Baron and his own experience as a trading post player. Silver, for you, what best describes a TP Baron?
Personally, I see a TP Baron as someone who doesn't really care too much about the gold, but rather methods of obtaining the gold. Someone who has fun just playing the markets, not for profit, but just for fun. That is how I see a TP Baron. The side effects, though, are quite nice. Being able to obtain almost anything that you want. That's quite a nice benefit.
Okay, I see. That's a good description indeed. And do you believe you qualify as one?
In some ways, yes. Because if you check my folder I have for Guild Wars 2, it is literally packed full of spreadsheets. So I spend more time on the sheets than I do on Guild Wars 2 itself. Like, you know me originally as the material and promotion spreadsheets on Google Sheets, and from there I've grown. But I semi will qualify as one, because I'm not rich enough to get anything at the click of the button yet. Not anything. Chuck eggs still elude me.
Who doesn't eat a lure, to be fair? I think a lot of people do wish to get their hands on the Chak egg, and the main problem was there weren't that many available on the trading post. Like, I've seen some people on /r/GW2 exchange actually asking to buy a Chak egg sack directly from someone. And indeed, we do know you for your material promotion sheets. I believe you are even quoted on the GW2 efficiency website for the help you gave Quaterius to make his own promotion calculation tool.
Yeah, he's a cool guy to work with. Full of ideas and actually the coding knowledge behind it to implement, which
That
is
is great.
quite amazing.
That's great to know. And now I have the next question, which is very TP Baron-esque. Under your standards, what is a lot of gold?
The amount of liquid gold that goes to my hands daily is about 2,000 to 3,000 gold. That is normal for me. So double that, triple that, that's a lot of gold for me because I keep spending it. I just give it away, so I never really build up too much of it, which is about 4,000 would be a decent amount of gold for me.
How much did you say?
About 4,000.
4,000 cash in your wallet, and you consider yourself to be a TP Baron?
Hey, I give away about 100 to 200 a day, so
Yeah, indeed. But that's indeed quite interesting to know because, well, you won't be able to see it until the video is made. But some of the material that I got my hands on were screenshots of some wallet hovers showing hundreds of thousands in pure gold. So
and you can see that on efficiency as well, where the
indeed,
people have hundreds, 100,000 gold in their wallet easily.
And now I'm gonna ask you the next question on the list. Like, you did say that most of the gold you make is from the knowledge, and describe the TP Baron as someone who does not only have the gold but also have the knowledge to make it.
Yes.
Did you ever partake in market manipulation or in some schemes to spike a few items in order to profit on it?
I am not a person who can actually think of that type of thing. I prefer to go more long term, where it's a constant daily going in that's predictable. I like things that are regular, predictable in that way. Spiking is not in my MO, so no, I haven't tried to spike. I wouldn't actually know where to begin. And secondly, I wouldn't actually have the followers to do it. Because from what I've seen the biggest spikers do, is that they have a pile of people who follow after them and do the spike for them. Like, they have bought up beforehand and then they spread a word to their friends and it goes up as a result. That is how I've seen it, but no.
Okay, I see. Because I did hear of some people who spiked some materials early within the game and actually made a lot of money on that, which gave them their status as TP Barons, because since they had the most money at the start, they actually just grew on that money without really having the need to come up with daily different methods to make gold. So that's a different approach to it.
Like, I make about 10 to 20% turnover a day. If you have a lot to begin with, that turns out to be quite a lot.
Indeed. I don't nearly make as much as turnover. I make maybe if I make 200, if I get 200 gold back from the TP, about 70 gold of it is pure profit, something like this. A third of what I get is just the profit, mostly crafting and other cute methods that are for another video, not for this one.
Yeah, crafting is one of the most reliable ways I have found. Takes a little bit of effort, but what you get is the fast people tax. The people who want things instantly pay that tax, if you will, and
Indeed.
you get that.
Yep. And then I have one last question for you, which is meant as a way to trace back how you started in the game and where you got from that point. When did you start actually getting into gold making? And maybe you could also describe for us your biggest past trading post schemes that really sparked your riches.
Where I started is actually fairly publicly available. Egg Baron had his material and promotion sheet, and now I have slight OCD about things that are incomplete, and I noticed that it wasn't completely there. There were some aspects of it missing, and that's where my own sheets came into play. Was I started researching skill points. How were they called in the beginning? Spirit shards or something?
No, actually, they were called skill points in the
Oh,
spirit
yeah,
chart
it's
in spirit charts just now.
been a while. Anyway, and started researching that, and then from that I was able to build up my gold by using skill points, and that got me up to a nice figure of about 800. Then after that I banded together with a few friends, and what we did was, as a group, we flipped precursors and legendaries. Now that was quite fun, as it was intense, because with the precursors especially, there's a lot of people bidding for them. And so if you put up a bid, a few minutes later, there's another person overbidding you. And so to check in often and regularly, and the thrill from that was quite immense. We made something, I think it was close to about 6,000 between the four of us, which for us at the time was quite a lot. We more than doubled our initial input. And then after that, I decided to go for legendaries, and I craft the Bifrost, as Hot had just come out. Yes, this is fairly recent. My main gold came in, and when Hot came out, I knew that I wanted to go for Daredevil, as that was nice. However, there were so few staffs in the game that could actually be used to bash people over the head with, and most of them were for casting. And so I worked towards the Bifrost. I got the Bifrost, and as Hot dropped, I had my shiny new Bifrost. And the day after Hot dropped, I was doing a hero point in Verdant Brink, and the legend dropped. So the very next day, I got the precursor for the legendary I had just done, and after a second Bifrost, and that was my current seed money. And using the knowledge I gained up to that point, I have a fairly steady income coming in now.
Okay, I see. So you did get lucky from a drop and then built on it in order
Yes.
to have a steady stream of daily income.
A
That's pretty good.
combination of luck, research, and lots and lots of spreadsheets.
Yeah, spreadsheets are the best.
Oh, yes.
At the moment, I'm not making that much gold, but I do have quite a bit of it stored because I'm not using it at the moment. Getting ready for the Halloween update, because this one is a very good one for gold making. It's time to stock up on some stuff that's needed for your spirit shards promotions, such as the Gift of Souls, Gift of Spiders. These really drop well during Halloween, and we should definitely have a look into that.
They drop well, and the price dramatically drops during the Halloween time. And I had a few listed and over the year, and they sold. Not a huge amount, but they were there, slightly steady.
Okay, I see. Well, I mean, this is indeed a great time to be investing, a great time to be playing the trading post, a great time to be buying some stuff that you might need later because so many people just come back for it.
It's the one thing that inflation is very good for, is that it allows much more opportunities as more people can get gold into their pockets. Of course, it makes it slightly harder as well, since more people will be going into PvTP. Excel is a very good place to start for anyone listening, because once you can put down on paper what something is and how you can profit from it, you can learn quite a lot about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop the recording now because you did answer the question, and I wish to thank you a lot for the answers you gave me because these are gonna be quite useful. Everyone, you've heard him. He did a lot of, he put a lot of work into answering my questions, and I'm very glad that he took the time to go over them with me. Now, let's actually do some myth busting, shall we? You've seen these screenshots on Reddit. 300k gold in a wallet, 700k gold in a wallet. It's actually possible. It has been confirmed by devs using the developer client that you could have hundreds of thousands in your wallet, because one of them actually was doing one preview stream with 120,000 gold in his inventory. Now, 300k and 700k might be a tad too much, and we've actually had proof that these numbers are actually not true. Indeed, John Smith intervened on the forums a few years back, saying that while some people did make thousands on a daily basis, wallet gold of that amount was actually not possible. As you can see, here is a screen of the post he wrote. So actually, now that we know that hundreds of thousands are not possible in wallet gold, how do these people exactly have their gold? It is quite simple. If they buy a lot of stuff on the trading post, some of it doesn't get sold. So if, let's say, they have 3k gold coming through their hands every day, and actually 500 of this gets stuck, these make a huge amount of gold every year. So when they say they have hundreds of thousands, it could be some gold stock on the trading post, or investments in some guild banks. As you can see, these are pictures of some power farmers and other TP players who have stored a lot of valuable items in their guild banks some years ago. These items have now gone up by quite a lot, and we could say that they probably have dozens of thousands stored away in their guild banks, as well as on their mules. We can also have a look at all these people that invested in skins back when these were extremely cheap. Let's say the guys who bought some scythe skin for less than 100 gold at release, when now these are worth over 3,000. We could also be talking about the people who actually built their empire on precursors, the luxury events, and forging. These people might have a few precursors stored away in guild banks. Even though they do not stack, they could have quite a lot of money this way. If you had a small tab of a guild bank filled with dusks, you're still looking at 60,000 gold, which is quite a lot, and way more than I have. Indeed, throughout this video, you guys have seen that I am actually but a small peon. I do not have that much gold, nor am I able to make that much on a daily basis. So now comes the last question. Is it possible to become a TP Baron today? Well, actually, it should be. I mean, if I am able to go from 6,000 gold to 19,000 in 3 months, you guys should be able to do the same. You just need to put a lot of effort into it, have your starting capital, and make sure you do not go for extremely risky stuff. There are a lot of ways to make some definite amount of golds every day, and if you keep at them, you should be able to slowly build your own empire. Till then, I would say to you guys, just watch videos, read guides, and find some interest into the delving of the trading post matters. There are a lot of posts, both on the unofficial forums, on Reddit, and on other sources, that actually explain a lot of stuff about the trading post, including how the movements go. Even if you're not an insider trader, you would still be able to do quite a bit of stuff just by speculating and using your own brain. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that it answered quite a bit of your questions. If you have any other questions, do not hesitate to ask them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. As well, if you guys wish to get in contact with me, you can follow me on Twitter. I have also recently opened a Patreon page and will make a video regarding that matter so that you guys can decide or not to support me and my videos for the months and years to come. I wish you all a most pleasant day.